Might I help you, sir?
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you. Enter, please.
The lady of the house. Who would that be? Also, they have a lot of wine
That's a hell
glasses.
of a lot of glasses. It would be a shame if something happened to them.
We've seen that portrait around. The Fontaine family house.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lord de Sade. And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We're looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
Runaway. Runaway
Yep.
from a noble family.
Okay, so we're right except for the gender.
Well, a long time back I had said something about him being a potential runaway and the people taking him back. But, yep.
I'm very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it's their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
My son was probably shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
What was your son doing on a Naut ship? Why would they have taken him?
It is what they do. Through pacts and contracts, they steal away young children from their mothers.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought that a legate would know these things. But it is true that you are young and inexperienced. It seems that you have been protected from the turpitudes of our own nation and their terrible allies. This horrible, constant ransoming that they put us through. But I will not say another word. You will have no trouble verifying the details now that you know what to look for.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Nauts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact. It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Nauts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
Remember how we heard earlier that
They either have
if you're born
women
on the
born,
boat,
yeah.
you are not born? Chances are she gave birth to him.
Well, they also said that they do take young children as well. Who desire to become Nauts or whatever.
Yeah, he could have been a runaway, but my assumption is, by her reaction...
Ransoming? Yeah.
Well, no, not ransoming. My assumption is he was born on the boat, and therefore not born. Either that or they sold the kid off originally to be a Naut, and then, you know, once they were wealthier, they wanted their son back, but their son didn't want to go back.
That or he's kept to the pact, but no, I don't know. I don't know what this pact entails. I wonder if it has to deal with the tattoos? It'd be terrible if it was a tattoo that made it so that you could never go too far inland. Could you imagine that?
Oh, that'd
Any
be...
idea how to get in there without being noticed?
Let's take a look around the building. We might find a less conspicuous entrance.
Or watch it that, you know, if they don't go on the open sea for a
Where
number
is
of
the
days,
manifest to be
they
found?
are in agony
I've
or
already been to
something.
the port authorities. They keep the official documents upstairs.
Ooh, they really like their purple in here.
Aha, I blend right in.
Oh, Your lockpicking skills are not enough to pick that lock.
A travesty.
Blacksmithing stuff up here.
Interesting.
The deck doesn't look right.
Yeah.
A sledgehammer with an anvil and then a chair and a box?
I'm confused.
You ended up getting a sailor's coat and gloves and boots anyway.
Well, yeah, but I needed that to sneak in here.
Mm-hmm. Ah. What is that?
Oh, key to the Serene
Here's the
Harbor
ship's
jails.
manifest. We only need to add our merchandise to the list.
All right. You tampered with it and added stuff to the log.
Without violence. Turns out, just looking like you belong is more than enough. I'm a master of disguise. Gary of the Riverlands.
And it's funny because you called him Jerry before, and now it's Gary.
I've been calling him Gary the entire time.
No, you called him Jerry once.
Well, that was a mistake, because I'm Gary. Gerrry.
If you wore a Naut uniform and you were able to keep your mark hidden from them, they might let us in. Unless we just offered them a drink. These sailors rarely refuse one.
I
don't
see
even
where
have-
this is headed. If we drop a little soporific in their glasses, the way will be clear. I'll just need to find the proper ingredients, but it's doable.
Hello,
You still acts as though your mark is clear as day, when it's actually quite hidden under that beard of yours.
Yep.
Not to say that they shouldn't have given you the option for a full beard, but you would think that if they want something along your jawline to be quite visible, they wouldn't give you the option to have a beard like that. Or they would have the mark in a more obvious spot, like on your forehead, or over one eye, or
Man, everything
on your
in here is
cheek.
locked. We are definitely specking into lockpicking hard after this. Charisma and lockpicking. Either that or we find a thief friend. It'll do it for us. Okay.
Hello? What can I do for you?
We're the relay. You're dismissed.
Finally! We were starting to grow moss. Courage, me hearties. The path is clear. We should notify the men. They need all the time they can get.
Ah,
Oh yeah, tell your guys to get in.
I am just Ooh, hi. I'm just pratfalling through this.
Pratfall? That doesn't have anything to do with Chris Pratt, does it?
No. I'm actually not sure if that's the right term, but like, I am absolutely stumbling to victory here. And it's hilarious. Lockpicking level 1.
Mm-hmm. I remember playing Knights of the Old Republic. I realized very early on in the game that having lockpicking was a necessity.
Well, yeah, I always kept the astromech droid with me. Because that, like, he was garbage in a fight.
T3M4.
Because of the way I had, like, upgraded him.
Mm-hmm.
But, boy, if I needed to get somewhere, he was the dude to do it.
Yep, he was cute.
Let's see, a pratfall is a fall into the buttocks. Yep, that's about right. I am ass-falling my way to victory.
For a moment, I thought that you'd picked up foot fungus.
Yeah, but no, it's hoof fungus.
Hoof? That's no better. That's a horse's foot.
Yep, well,
As a
I
hoof.
use it to make potions.
Hoof fungus.
Come here, Bessie. I need your hoof meat.
Well, no. It's like the stuff that you can scrape out from inside.
I like to call that hoof meat.
And
Those hooves don't have meat.
No.
Well now, can we get going?
The way is clear. It's time to get going.
Do your best to be quick and quiet about it. You won't have much time to move it.
Don't you be worrying now. We're off.
The warehouse is at the end to the right there. You can't miss it.
Move out. Quick steps.
So you didn't do the drinks. Did they make it through?
Yeah. I didn't need to do the drinks. I would have needed to do the drinks if I didn't have a disguise, but because I had a disguise,
Yep.
I just
So alternatives. So what are you gonna
flopped my
do
way
about
to
the
victory.
boy? The cabin boy. And
Oh,
then
hey.
you're still Constantine to deal with.
Yep. We got a lot of things to do.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear.
I'm still without new...
I spoke with a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Taken? Her son is sea-gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Nauts, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't be able to tell you the condition of Jonas's contract. I didn't even know he was originally from Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child. And ever since, he's been a Naut. Our ships are his home. We are his only family.
Gifted to him before his birth? And because of a trade deal? What is this?
Be back soon, Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Naut?
Sir de Corsillion's a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
Wait, is this to break the pact? With science? What's going on?
I have no idea.
Why were
I
they
think we're just
talking about the
asking more
scientist?
information about this.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul play.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I certainly hope so. Would you be in need of my help in any way?
I've had a word with Lady Fontaine. You must know her. That rich family that lives near the docks. She told me a strange story about her son who was a cabin boy on our ship. She said that he was taken when he was a child due to some contract with the Nauts.
Who was a cabin boy? Do you mean he's no longer one?
They took him back to bring him home.
Well, that is very unpleasant news, de Sade. We need to do all we can to bring the boy back to his ship. Since time immemorial, there's always been a certain price to pay for the services of the Nauts. Children born on their ships belong to them. It's the rule of the sea. But certain contracts are so important that they also require children to be offered in exchange. From time to time, the congregation has passed such accord, and certain noble families had to give their children up.
Are you telling me that the Fontaines lost their son because of some agreement signed between my uncle and the Nauts?
No. That pact ended a long time ago. This cabin boy couldn't have been a part of that contract. But Sir Fontaine has made a fortune trading with the Alliance, via ships.
Do you mean he would have offered up his own son in exchange for wealth?
Well, he probably did it before the birth of the child, and regretted it afterwards. But that is of little importance. What counts most is that you bring the boy back to the Nauts as quickly as possible. Breaking a contract with the seafarers has always cost us dearly. Our nation could feel it in its coffers.
I will do my best.
A father selling his own son for a few boat rides. For ugly, that is ugly.
Lady Fontaine didn't seem to have any knowledge of that detail. That could be of use to us.
So, it is possible, too, that they were starting to get old and didn't have an heir for their family.
Oh yeah, but effectively, they sold him off and then kidnapped him when he was grown. From his new family. That'd be like putting a kid up for adoption and then kidnapping them after seeing him on the street. Or no, worse than that, selling your kid to somebody else and then kidnapping them back. I mean, that's effectively what's going on here, but like modern terms would be like
And this contract wasn't something written out by the government. It was something that the father did out of his own
so it wasn't
greed.
forced upon him. It was a voluntary thing. And it doesn't sound like the young man was particularly enthused about coming home.
Note to the attention of the servant. Alice, I would like you to prepare several meals to bring them to the warehouses that we own in the canal. My husband will have to work there with his clerk and his men for a few days, so make sure that there is enough food for everyone, and be discreet. We do not want other families to know about what is happening.
This document mentions another property. A warehouse.
That would be a great place to hide. Shall we take a peek?
So they're keeping them all there.
Yep, alright, dead end. So what are our thoughts so far? Combat's functional. We've barely done it, admittedly, so it's kind of hard to tell on that one.
It's an interesting world, though I still wish they had gone full fantasy as opposed to this...
Yeah, so honestly, I'm going to put this game
Revolutionary War stuff.
right in the same bin as Kingdoms of Amalur. Very functional. Decent world building. I'm interested to see more. It's not BioWare yet. Maybe 2 more games and they'll be there. It really does feel better than Technomancer and Bound by Flame.
I suppose
that's for sure.
I really dislike it when games have you spend an inordinate amount of time
this
in the
long
starter
tutorial
city.
is a pain.
Fontaine won't be alone. He'll have his henchmen with him.
Let's just try to remain discreet.
Because there's a whole world out there, and there's this island with giant monsters and potentially nature magic, but we're not, and the cure for this disease, but we're not going to get there until we get everyone.
What are you doing here?
I've come looking for your son. The Naughts are worried about his disappearance.
Those Naughts took him from us, but now we've got him back, and he'll be staying with us.
Would you be so kind as to hear what I have to say, Sir Fontaine? You've taken your son against his will and have him locked up like merchandise in a warehouse. Is that what you call being a good father?
If I hadn't taken him back, he would have been hauled off on one of the cursed ships.
If that's what he wants, then why would you want to stop him?
For his mother. She misses him so. But in the end, you may be right. My boy has changed. He hasn't spoken a word to me since we've been in this precarious predicament. Very well. Take the key and take him away. Cursed be the day I delivered my son unto the Naughts.
All children leave the nest one day or another, sir. Farewell.
I feel like they needed more dialogue there.
Yeah, you instantly went with the charisma option. Actually, wasn't that something that we had noticed about the older games, where if you just chose the charisma option, it just, in the blink of an eye, things are resolved?
Charisma is just kind of the instant victory button with, like, because we did a lot of, like, finagling to find stuff and learn things and so on and so forth.
Because I was hoping that we'd be able to talk with the boy first.
Well, here's the boy.
He looks more like a young man.
I mean, cabin boys are very rarely that young.
Who are you?
My name is de Sade. I am legate of the congregation. Your captain has sent me to find you.
And were you able to convince my father to allow me to go free?
Yes. Even if I had to bend his arm a little.
That doesn't surprise me. He seemed to have no intention of changing his mind. I feel more sorry for my mother. She seems so sweet and happy to see me.
You don't seem to be all that close to your parents.
I hadn't seen them since I was 5 years old. I barely remember them. They find me, capture me, and lock me up in this warehouse. Hard to grow close after all that. My family is the Naughts. I am sorry for my parents, but that is the way of it now. Can I go home?
Yes. You should still go and say farewell to your mother. Then find your way to the ship. I'll see you there.
They didn't have to kidnap him. They always could have tried reaching out and making an agreement. Oh, that's if you want to blow the wall open.
Yeah, I do appreciate that there's a lot of different potential ways you can do everything.
What was in that side room?
This?
Or is that just the way back?
Yeah, this place is kind of maze-like. My assumption is there would have been more dudes if we had decided to fight the father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would have had to fight this guy.
He looks like some of the guard, though.
They're mercs.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But yeah, it could have been a situation where they just, for the couple days that he's in port, they get to know each other, have dinner, etc.
Yeah.
Every couple months. But nope.
Okay, so we're done with that. What other side quests do we have while we're here? There we go. Side quests. So heretic hunt.
But at least it wasn't something more nefarious, like the tattoos really are a kind of ward that prevents someone from being far from the sea for long. Oh, that person's retching.
Yep. That's not a good sign.
In addition to all of these sort of dark veins and the milkiness of their eyes if the affliction is around their eyes, I suppose this Malachor is also affects their lungs and such.
So I was asked, how is this in comparison to Vampire? I liked Vampire better, if only because the main character is immediately more interesting. And it was...
So far you're just young, noble,
we're not
do-gooder.
We're not terrible. Like, I don't dislike this character. I like him a lot better than the Technomancer character. It's just a matter of we are just kind of generic McHero prince going around. And I liked Vampire's protagonist because he was immediately a tortured man. He had a history with people, and stuff was kind of moving. This is a little bit slower.
Now, you didn't necessarily discuss this with me at the very beginning. I know that you wanted to get through character customization quickly. Why did we end up selecting the guy versus the lady?
Because Gary of the Riverlands. I was gonna look at women, and then we saw the white hair, and then we saw the Gary of the Riverlands look, and I just didn't feel like going for a female character.
Mm-hmm.
So you're back. Right then. What about our business?
We can guarantee that your merchandise will leave with us.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And bravo, Kurt. The Commander will be most pleased.
The cargo shall make the voyage. But who will be at its reception once it's arrived?
That shall be your next mission. Once you've reached New Serene, go and find the Quartermaster. He will give you new instructions. Until then, I wish you a safe and pleasant voyage, Your Excellency. Kurt, good luck.
No, this feels like any regular CRPG does.
If I find out that they got a prominent voice actress that I'm familiar with to be the other character, I might be like, maybe we could have gone that. It's not going to be Jennifer Hale, though. She's been too many things.
Okay, smuggler's belongings and disappearance of the knots. Okay, so we're almost done. But no, like, I'm actually getting very strong vibes of... Yeah, let's do this while we're here.
What's in here? The tavern again?
We're gonna ask about the cousin.
Ah, yes.
But no, this intro sequence really reminds me of the beginning of Baldur's Gate.
Are those lockers? Or just tiles? Off to the left. On the wall.
Oh, those are just tiles.
What do they have on them? Oh, just a bunch of little figures?
Yeah, looks like it.
Doing
Weird.
something.
Super weird. Cassie Layton played the female protagonist. Who else has she played?
I don't know. The name's not familiar to me.
It's familiar to me. The thing is just like...
Also, is that a backgammon set?
Might be.
You know, I've never played backgammon.
I did once or twice. It wasn't that interesting.
Tavern keeper.
I see you're back. Can I pour you something this time?
Speaking of kidnappings...
I'm looking for my cousin. His name is Constantine. I believe he was intent on celebrating his departure last night.
There was indeed a party here last night, but it ended badly.
Whatever do you mean?
A brawl broke out. My tavern was shattered, and no one's paid for the damages.
I'm sorry. Amongst the rebel rousers, did there happen to be a young man? 20 years of age. Hair down to his neck, light brown, blue eyes. Quite the talker.
I don't believe it. Of course he was there. He's the man that started the fight. I hope you've come to reimburse me. Don't count on me to help you if that's not the case.
What kind of damage are we talking about exactly?
A good half of my furniture was broken into firewood. I piled up the lot over there.
Let me take a look. Perhaps it can be repaired.
If you can fix it, I'll be obliged. If not, you'll need to pay.
That's not a small sum. I need to think about my options.
Oh, the father has forgotten to give his son his allowance, it would seem.
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
Do you have the dowels? Why
Yep.
couldn't you offer it to him?
Because I have to
You have to
fix
manually
it
repair
myself.
it.
The furniture
Okay.
is in terrible condition. The fight must have been extremely violent.
It looks as if it's fixable. I've seen worse. We'll need to build some metal dowels, but once done, we can make them like new.
And there you have it. You'd never guess they were once broken.
That's a way to get out of a sticky situation.
Well then, were you able to
Yes, just like new. Or nearly.
That does indeed look like fine work. You know what you're doing.
I would hope. Can you tell me where I can find my cousin now?
Your cousin is either a very bad joker or a right good fool. He went and insulted a band of ruffians from the lower boroughs. Dangerous fellows. They've a storehouse they operate out of a few streets from here.
What kind of business do they run?
Several, actually, and they're all illegal and profitable. But you didn't hear that from me. In any case, if you were set on recovering your cousin, I would hurry if I were you. They're not the tender sorts.
Thank you for the information.
Off with ya. Get him out of whatever mess he's got himself into. Seemed like a courageous fellow. Who could down his pint? Anything else?
I need to be off.
Goodbye.
I would also like to mention that the way that you have your food precariously displayed is in complete violation of the FDA.
There's no FDA yet.
I know. Just look at that, how he had that smoked shank or something
I mean, the
right out on
alchemist
the...
had just 3 rats hanging from a hook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had bundles of rats.
Okay, so let's go turn in this quest. I do like this better than, like, Sinking City, though. I liked the idea of Sinking City, but there was too much travel time and too much, like, too little anything. This is all hand-designed, and it actually feels pretty good wandering the world.
Well, we haven't even run into monsters yet. That's gonna come later.
Yeah, Shell's really invested in those. We'll see them before the night's up.
I want to see the Dragon Island.
You still haven't found your cousin?
Have no fear.
My cabin boy, Jonas, is back on ship. I have you to thank, I imagine.
You do. It's a rather sad affair, and though solved, leaves a broken family behind.
All we can do is plot a course. No one tells the wind what to do. I do thank you. I didn't think you'd go to so much trouble for a cabin boy. Your actions bring you honor.
Be back soon, Captain.
Wait, so they say that they have magic that helps them on the high seas, but they then admit that the wind, you can't tell the wind where to go? Then what is their magic? You would surely think that people who were sailors would have wind or water magic. Oh. What?
You can't tell it, but the magic can. Ooh.
Yeah, but then you're at the reins of the magic, so...
Like, seriously,
indirectly.
is there no hop button?
I never like it when there's no jump in a game.
It feels weird. Maybe all of their magic is just purely navigation related. Boat fixing.
What, they don't have stars for that? Then again, Earth is really fortunate to have the North Star. I think I was reading up on how it really is just a point in the sky that when the world spins, it never moves
in my time, but
in comparison to all the other ones.
you the smuggler?
So,
You snuck yourself in here just to ask me that question. If this is some sort of trick to get me to admit to some crime, you are truly twisted.
You can see for yourself that I'm no Nord. Come now. Are you the one I'm looking for?
I'm already locked up. What more do I risk? Yes, I am a smuggler. But I'm not the only one in this city.
I'm searching for a couple fleeing to Leme. They're trying to leave the city discreetly. Have they contacted you?
You certainly can't imagine I'm going to answer you without getting something in exchange.
extra.
I don't really think of my clients as kin,
You see.
but I'd never betray any of them for free.
A real saint you are. How about your freedom in exchange for your loyalty? Tell me where I can find them and I'll open this cage.
That works for me. Your two Telemites are hidden in a warehouse behind this very prison. They must be waiting for me. But you might want to be quick about it. If the Nauts get their hands on them, they'll find themselves in this same cage.
Thank you.
Anytime. And these doors? You're gonna open them, right?
You don't need to free the smuggler. What was up with him? Also, what I was saying about the North Star earlier, supposedly in, what is it, probably a couple thousand or million years, it'll shift off position. Which will be unfortunate.
Let's see how the Telemites are, because if they're not terrible, then I'll go free the dude.
There they are.
Who is there?
May the Illuminated save us. Did the smuggler send you?
The man to which you are referring was arrested and thrown into prison, but revealed to me your hiding place.
Oh, the traitor!
Have you come to deliver us to the Inquisition then? Please, please, have pity on our souls. We have committed no crime. We are not heretics. We are nothing more than historians.
In that case, why is the ambassador of Teleme so concerned about your teachings? Why is the Inquisition looking for you, and why are you hiding?
Our only error was wanting to publish our work.
It's true. We presented our research, but it didn't please the censor. And here you have the result.
We fled all the way to Serene, thinking we would be safe. But the Inquisition wants to silence us so badly that they followed us here.
Oh, they do look like pilgrims. People
Oh,
were
absolutely.
mentioning that. But they have a sun symbol? What was their research?
The Illuminator, I don't know.
The
Tell me
Illuminator.
more about your research. What about it is so horrifying that it would provoke such a fuss?
Our work concerned the teachings of St. Lucius.
The disciple of Saint Matthias. The one who returned to Teleme after traveling with his master.
The very same. His writing was carefully preserved, but never seriously studied.
With the discovery of Teofredi, we thought it crucial to take a look at the original text. We wanted to verify if this island could have been the faraway place that he spoke of. The Eden of Saint Matthias.
And? What did you find?
Teofredi is without any doubt the land that our Saint Matthias and his disciples went to. But the text that we discovered was radically different from what we expected to find.
In the original text, St. Lucius doesn't speak of an Eden, of the paradise of the Illuminated. He speaks of a voice that came from the depths of the earth, which convinced St. Matthias to stay there.
It was written in black and white, and there is no doubt about it. The original was written in Lucius's own hand.
I understand now what that text has cost you. This voice from the depths sounds more the power of a demon than a saint.
The sacred texts are always difficult to interpret, but what is written is written.
Wait, so if they're talking about the depths, is it possible that the volcano is an opening to some deep
Something
netherworld?
not good? Yeah. I do like the background details. Like, I think this is part of the reason why I'm so stuck on the fact that this game really does look like it's just 1700s US or England or whatever. Because, like, they have this interesting world building. It's almost a shame that they didn't go more original with this. Oh well, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you hoping would give you asylum?
We were hoping to reach Al-Sad. The Inquisition won't chase us into the den of their enemies.
Our research won't interest the Bridge Alliance, or at least I doubt it. But at least we'll be safe.
By entering Al-Sad as clandestines, you risk being taken for spies.
That would be better than being burned at the stake.
Did you try speaking with the censors? You could forget what you have discovered, perhaps.
Oh,
Nah.
we have signed already an abjugation stating that we misunderstood the sacred texts of St. Lucius. We were even ready to say that we had never seen the true text, or anything else that would have pleased them.
It served no purpose. It's our lives they are after.
I see. Well, you have no other choice but to run and seek refuge in enemy territories.
I beg of you, please do not deliver us to them. Let us continue on this path.
Definitely the second one.
Well, so the Bridge Alliance, that's going to be the Al-Sad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to arrest them. I noticed that there's...
have a word with the good Dr. Sahin, the ambassador of the Bridge Alliance. If he can be persuaded to offer you asylum, you would be saved.
Your goodness honors you. May the Illuminated forever light your path.
If I manage to convince the ambassador, you'll need to refrain from that sort of blessing. Stay here. I'll be back.
Sorry, I fat-fingered that one. But, like, arresting them would have just led to their death. Letting them be on their way?
Well, that's the thing. If they were studying the land, I thought that we were trying to get them onto the boat so that they could come with us to this island so that they could see if their theories were correct.
But not the case.
No. If you told them to be on their way without proposing that you talk to Sahin, then they would be attempting to speak with Al-Sad and the bridge on their own without your clout. And because you didn't out Sahin earlier, he will likely be more benevolent to you. So that's the island with the volcano. Yeah. San Mateus. Oh, look at that. Hikmet and New Serene. Oh, wait. Zoom out. You're already on the island.
Nope, I'm over here.
Oh, you're over there. Oh, I see. New Serene is over there. Then why do they call this Serene? Oh,
this
Serene and New
this
Serene.
This is New Serene. Oh. Do we free the smuggler? Nah.
Well, he was helping them, right?
No, he sold them out immediately.
He sold them out immediately? Then nah.
Like, he was going to help them because they paid him, but then he got arrested.
But didn't he then sell them out to you? As
exactly, which is why I'm saying, like, eh. Like, if he had been a harder sell than trading two people's freedom for his own, maybe. But he gave them up pretty quick. Sparkly goodies.
Mm-hmm.
They exist around here. I probably don't need to look that hard, but if I see them, I will grab them.
Do you know what's interesting? I've seen this in numerous places, but there seems to be ash floating through the air.
Well, they're burning people.
Well, yeah, they are burning quite a bit.